Hello, everybody.
You gonna lead it?
Well, I'll start and kick it off. And then I know you have stuff that you.
Well, we gotta go
do.
down the agenda.
I was just gonna introduce myself.
Okay,
and let
perfect.
everybody Introduce themselves, if that's okay.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm Becky Leach. For those of you that don't know me, I am the project manager for the city, report directly to Mayor and Scott. And I'll be the one here with you guys running the meetings with you. So I'll be at all of them, unless, vacation, which is rare, so.
Isn't this vacation?
It is.
I live on it.
Yours is-
Honey, I've been here for 18
Yeah.
years and I live on vacation. So, yeah, vacation, right?
Okay, so if you wanna,
Oh, hi, I'm Nicole Birch. I'm the deputy city clerk and I record the meetings.
Scott Anderson, the city administrator.
Frank Eldon, Mayor, I want to thank all of you for volunteering for this.
Yeah, that.
I think it's going to be really exciting when we get the report back from Herrera. And you all will have some things to work on when we get that back for sure. Yeah. My name is Jeff Owens. I'm a friend of Frank's before he's the mayor. I am Canal Brothers. Canal Brothers. I give free boat rides on the canal. I've been doing it for 10 years. I don't charge anything. It's not about that. It's about people understanding the quality of what our waterways are really all about. So I love the waterways here. I've been on them for 16 years. I've been given free boat rides for 10. And it's really about people understanding the quality of, other than the beach, of what we have to offer this community. And it's a huge step. So I love this community. Frank asked me to help. I'm here.
I'm Richard Wills. I'm currently on the city council and have been for about 3.5 years. I'm also a trustee in the Fresh Waterways Corporation, and there's often a confusion between this advisory board and the corporation. They're two separate entities. I'm also the webmaster for the Waterways Corporation. And Becky will probably get into it, but if you have not taken advantage and read the IAVMP, that there's a link published in the agenda. That document captures everything that I have learned about the waterways in the 9 years that I've been an active participant with as a trustee. So that's me.
I'm Jim Fitzgerald. I've been a member of the board for 5 minutes.
Are we members? I didn't know we were keeping track.
And I'm really on a fact finding. Really get an idea of what it is this, my sweet little neighbor over here talked me into joining.
Didn't take.
I figure also I live in the water, I should know about it.
Which, amen. Which if you all should know that, I chose, I guess, people that are living on the water. The past, groups have had people that hadn't even been on the water, let alone lived on the water. I thought you would bring a much better perspective and understanding what we need to do.
I'm David Royce. I live on Canal Drive Northeast and with Grand Canal, just north of Ocean Lake Way. I've been doing some stuff to try to mitigate what's going on in my part of the canal. I have an aerator pump out there that's pumping air.
Exactly right.
And pumping air in the water, and my area stays pretty clean, and the water is pretty clear too. And I'm pretty happy with what it's doing. And so there's things that I've done, and I can probably help people with some stuff and look at it, because I mean, even my pump that I put in was less than $300, which is not a bad price at all. And if it helps the waterway, it's really nice. And the animals like it too. The ducks love to go sit in the bubbles. It's our duck jacuzzi. So I'm just there to help and do what I can. I mean, I'm 20 years retired from the Navy and 12 years retired from Providence Hospital. And I'm living the life and being retired and traveling too. So.
Can I ask you, what did you do at Providence Hospital?
IT management. I did database reporting. for all of the hospitals up and down the coast. Traveled a lot to a lot of the hospitals.
Thank you.
Connie Clifford, I used to repo trucks. There, that's what I did. I live I live on Canal Drive Northeast. I'm 3 doors from him. I'm 4 doors from him. I did not talk you into this. You wanted to do it. I just nudged you a little bit.
Oh, is it voluntold?
No,
Yeah,
She talked me
I've
into
been here too long. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was on it. I was on the board for, a second. And, one of the things I noticed was that a lot of the people didn't live on the water. And the person that was in charge is, oh my God, she was so smart, but I didn't understand a thing she said. Yeah, I mean, really, it went over my head because I know the water, I love the water, but I don't know a lot of the techie pieces of it. But I have lots of ideas, as everyone does, lots of ideas. So that's kind of it.
I'm James Pace. Nice to meet all of you guys. I've lived here for about 5 years. I live on Malt Avenue, so just off of Blue Heron Bayou. But I do my part to try to keep the weeds and things raked out too, but it clearly is a problem. So my husband and I moved here from Utah. The water there isn't great, landlocked water. So one of the reasons that we came here was because of all the water in the ocean, but the canal system really intrigued us when we moved here, and we lived, clearly bought a house, built a house on the canal, just so we could enjoy that. But we learned that over the last few years that sometimes we can't use the waterways safely. So that's why I'm here. Connie didn't talk me into it, but she did mention it to me, and I said, sure, I'd love to get involved. So we'll see. Anyway, that's that.
I'm Jay Boston, live down on Heron Court on the south end of the Grand Canal. And retired from fuel truck driving. We're up and down the canal all the time and see all of the mess that's in it. And we try to keep our house, the front, as clean as we can. But figured, well, we got time, try to see if we can help the rest. So here I am.
I'm Tim Hiles. I am grants manager, project manager for the city. And I too live on a lake at the very north end. It's pretty brownish up there. I don't do a lot on the lake, but I would like to do more. Definitely.
I forgot to mention, I'm also the council liaison to this board, so you should see me every month.
So can I say that I have a boat big enough to take 12 people out any day of the week? That's what I do, right? So it's about educating people to what we have the ability to really, man, it's like the hidden treasure of ocean shores. I mean, who knows we have waterways, 23 miles. No, they don't. And like I said, so I've been coming, I was like 3, so I'll be 65 this year. So I've been coming here a long time. So I didn't realize the quality of the water until I moved here in 07, and then I moved on the water in 09. So I've lived on the water and explored it. So I have hundreds of, thousands of hours documented on the water, and there's nothing like it. And when we educate people to know that, the quality of our life, it's really about, people don't have any idea where we live. They come to the beach. They don't get to explore the water. I don't do it for a business. I do it for free. I give people free boat rides. I don't need the money. It's about educating people to the quality of life that we get to live. If you live on the water, and I've been on the water for 16 years, it's a life-changing experience. I mean, yeah. How can we make it better for people who come here? Not the beach, but their experience. They don't come past that waterway. How can we get people to really get involved? That's the question.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm gonna let Nicole talk
Oh, we're
about
good.
the order of events following the agenda and things like that, and then we'll have a big discussion time at the end where we can put everything out there and where we want meetings to go in the future.
So just like any other board, it has to follow Robert's Rules of Order, which I can send that all, I might have sent that all to you guys already. So next up on the agenda is roll call, which you guys already said all your names, so we're only missing Janet. So I need a motion to excuse Janet from anybody,
Move that we excuse Janet.
and then a second. Perfect, and then all in favor.
I,
Perfect. And then next would be approval of the meeting agenda. And you wanted to make a motion to amend.
I make a motion that we amend the election of board officers to June. Because I think we should have all board people here. Can we do that?
We have a motion. Second, all in favor. All right. That's off the agenda. Now we need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Second.
Don't all do it at once, and then all in favor. All right. So now that's done, we have public communication. So, anybody in the room have public comment? No, no? Go ahead.
Jim, you got a comment.
Is it going to be under calendar or under freshwater ways advisory?
It'll be in both. Like I told you earlier, that was just my mistake.
Under calendar.
Anybody online?
Hello.
Yes, Jane.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to say I'm very happy to see the Freshwater Ways Advisory Board active again, and thank you to all of you that have volunteered to be on the board. Very wonderful afternoon.
Anybody else online? Susan, would you like to comment?
Thank you for asking, not at this time, and thank you to everybody who is on the board. We're looking forward to a lot of good things happening this year. Thank you.
John Williams?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say, echo what the other people have said. It's great having this board up and running again, and I'm looking forward to hearing all the possibilities for our fresh waterways. And thanks a lot.
All right, Vida, your turn.
Vita Pierre has no comment. Thank you.
All right. Did you have a comment? No. All right, so new business is all off the list. So next up, we have a discussion of the Fresh Waterways Master Plan with Becky.
So the Freshwater Master Plan is due in June from Herrera. That's gonna be a big topic of conversation for us. And what Herrera's scope of work is, that was also included in the agenda packet, I think. They're doing the lake and canal. They did a development for the goals of what we wanted to focus on for this master plan. And working with them early on, it became apparent that one thing that's different than what you'll see in this IAVMP is over the last couple of years, we have started seeing a lot more aggressive toxic algae in the waters. So that's what the master plan is focusing on. And then when we talk about the other support that they're going to be doing, that we'll talk about the invasive weeds there. But so just so you know, when that master plan does come out, you guys will get late breaking copies of it. We'll talk about it. We'll break it down here. And then you guys will give ideas and feedback from what Herrera puts out to the mayor and Scott and I. And then the mayor will go back and make decisions on what sort of projects out of that we want to tackle. Some of them we'll want to look for grants for, which is why Tim will be coming to all of our meetings because he supports me in projects. And then also he does our grant writing and management for us. So we're excited for that to move forward. And also with the toxic algae, I was hoping that I could get the tests. They're free and I can order them and bring them to the next meeting. If you guys would all take a couple home and then you can drop them off to me and I can mail them back for you. But you all live on the water, which is awesome. And if you're seeing anything out there, out and about at your docks or your neighbors or anywhere when you're driving around and checking out the canals, you could just grab a quick test sample and then I can get it sent in for you and we'll know what kind of algae it is we're looking at. Because there are a couple different kinds in our canals.
Can we say things? Well,
Yeah.
well, that was one of the things I was kind of hoping that they would actually teach us how to do some of that. I mean, that's just one of my thoughts on
Yeah.
on my long list.
We can do that for sure. We can do just a sample test. We can do a lesson here.
Yeah, oh, good, okay.
How often would they want those done? Or would it just be when we saw
Just
something?
when you see something suspect. Yeah, and I can bring in pictures too to show you what you'd be looking for.
I've got a picture I want to show you and see what it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I might not know, but I probably won't know the scientific name, but we can get the picture sent to Herrera. I can get it from you and send it on. Exactly what it is quite often.
Were they going to have somebody actually at our meetings once in a while at all?
They have, I think, just one more meeting to attend for the management plan. And then rolling into the aquatic vegetation issues that we have. And that's more of the weeds that keep the boats from getting through and what you see growing on top of the water as well. They're helping us write the bid documents this year for the lake and canal treatment. In the years past, before I came to the city, we didn't have a consultant helping write those bid documents. And the same documents were used year after year. So that's what we also used the last couple years. It basically has given the contractors that do the lake and canal treatment almost all say so of what gets done. They do the survey, they do the treatment, they tell us what needs to happen. So we're really excited that Herrera is coming. They've already done the samples for the master plan under a different scope of work. So they're going to be working with me on writing the bid documents and what needs to happen. And they've also told us that there is a treatment that can be used outside of the fish window that'll be very effective for a lot of the invasive weeds that we have, which is not something that any of our past contractors told us about because they're not licensed to use it.
The thing that's great about it is if it sits high off the bottom, it can get sprayed and killed instead of full bloom on top of the water. We got a ton of biomass going to the bottom and rotting in water. So we really like hearing that. They're really a good outfit. They give us a lot of information. We've got alternative ideas, things to do.
Yes, I feel really good about, I feel like we're starting to make the curve and we're going to be able to get some work done, especially with the group sitting here at the table. It's exciting.
Well, I was very impressed with their presentation that they did for us. And didn't they mention that at the same time they mentioned something about chemical or something?
They've mentioned it
Briefly. Yeah, but it was a really good presentation.
Yeah. Interesting thing is we were killing all the vegetation. And in that presentation, they talked about you do need some aquatic plants and that helps with the phosphorus issue too, which I didn't know until they done that. The last treatment was a disaster and that's why we've asked them to be a consultant for us.
Did you hear?
We don't want to repeat that. We want to repeat what happened last year.
Yeah.
Herrera will be coming and doing another town hall for us at the convention center when the master plan comes out and they'll go through and explain to us as well as the storm utility rate study. That is also the stormwater utility rate study is part of that. So they'll also be introducing that. They are not increasing the rates or anything like that. They're giving their recommendations based on the study that they did. These are the projects that we're looking at. This is how much it could cost. This is what we would recommend you potentially raise your utility rates for stormwater this year and that year and going forward. So, and then is it council that makes the decision for that? And then that will go to council to make the decision for how that will roll out and when. They will come to probably online for the summer lake and canal treatment for the second project that they're doing for us. They will attend a meeting here with us and they're going to help with contractor selection and all the way through. They'll monitor the contractor's work for that and then be involved with the post-treatment survey that the contractor does to make sure it's all what we need and that we got out of it what we should have.
But we still can't do that until after July 15th. Is that correct?
There's certain treatments that you can only do starting July 15th or 19th, or that's when the fish window opens up, and then you have to stop it at the end of October. But there's other things that can be done. You can harvest almost all year round, if not all year round, right? And then the other treatment that they told us about can be used all year round.
Yeah.
So there are
I don't know
things out there that can be done outside of the fish window that we'll be looking at.
We'd like to get a harvesting machine and such down the road. So that we got a whole lot less spraying and. That'll help keep a little bit of the vegetation along the edges to help with the water and the small fish, you know.
Well, and I've done some research over the years, and if we have a harvesting machine, there is things we can do that will produce, I mean, we can use the harvesting machine in a positive way to produce fuel. I mean, there are a lot of things that I proposed over the years prior to. Yeah, there's a lot of things we can do here that can benefit us with a harvester. But the harvester has to be used. It's not just the harvest, it's what we do when we harvest. Because we have to have a plan for once we harvest, what do we do with that?
That goes into our green waste.
Yeah, so, but there is a fuel, there's a way to create green fuel from that. And I've done some research on that. We could create vats that create fuel from what we harvest.
Biochar kiln?
Yeah, green fuel.
Don't you have to have a company that'll buy it?
No, we can create that ourselves.
No.
Well, it's not about what we make, it's about what we don't spend. It's about using what we harvest to refuel what we do. It's a revolving door. If we do it properly, we could create these vats that create a biofuel to produce a fuel to eliminate. I mean, we're harvesting weeds that create a fuel, organic fuel, that doesn't cost us any money. But if we do it properly,
It does cost to process it.
well, there's a process, but it pays for itself.
But doesn't that also, when you're making biofuel, it's the business I was in. And biofuel isn't basically just diesel.
Well,
I mean,
let's call it vegetarian fuel.
Might start off a
Same
little
thing,
bit
basically diesel.
smaller than making fuel.
Yeah, we're not talking about the operations, we're talking about ocean shores. We have 23 miles of fresh water, we have a lot of contamination. If we just took that contamination and gathered it and put it in a vat, if you will, to create a biofuel, we would compensate ourselves. I mean, I've been doing research here for 18 years, so I haven't shared it because nobody's asked me to.
Have you ever made a gallon of biofuel from your research?
I worked at a restaurant where we did biofuel, so.
I understand it also makes, like the pennywort also makes a fertilizer.
It can. So we need to look at it from that perspective. It can be a contaminant. We could live in a place where we have this contaminated waterway that just, who wants to live in a swamp? Or we could create this not to create a fuel, but to compensate the use of the waterways to become a cleaner, more earth friendly. Let's just, there's so many things.
You can make it into a fertilizer.
Exactly.
That's
An organic fertilizer.
Certainly is worth looking at.
Kind of what we're set up to do.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
because we have a company that does mulch and that.
Exactly.
That's what I was hoping people, if they had a free place to take the weeds around their property,
Well,
that they would use that.
That's another
It
question.
is used very much. I've seen it.
Yeah. But there's another question on that.
Can be.
The weeds around, because I've only been living here now for 5 years, but the whole thing was, there's only so much you can do. You can't go down, you can't cut this off, you can't bulldoze, you can't do this. Well, nobody knows really what can we do on our.
Exactly.
property.
What can we do?
Right.
It sounds like a good
It
project,
is a good project.
good project for the waterway.
Jay, that's
Yeah.
a project.
Yeah.
Education's a big
We should
part
get
of
together
it.
because I'm a dog with a bone.
Yeah, it's just, it's been you know, nobody knows what you can do. So everybody, I see them.
Now, what we can do is what,
They come out there on the weekends. Well, do this stuff on the weekends and throw this stuff out in the water and let it go and clean it then. Because they don't know what to do with it or.
That's the biggest thing, and education to the property owners that are.
Ben, the huge issue here is, this is a revolving door. How many of you lived here more than 10 years? Come on, who's lived here longer than 10 years? Okay, so a revolving door. Okay, so what happens is people come and they want to get involved in making it happen. Stay long enough to see it through. So I love this place. I've been coming here since I was like 3 years old. I'll be 65. I love this place. I want to see it be that place. So how do we make that place that people want to be here, not live at the beach, enjoy the fresh waterways. We live in a community that offers the beach, but there's so much more, and we live on that. So how do we enrich that for the community and make it, you know what, the waterways are really what this community is about. You live on them. So
We,
Sounds like it's something we're all gonna talk about
we,
later.
we're gonna talk about it, but can we table that and
yeah,
move on to with the rest?
yeah.
The last thing that I have on the agenda is the honey.
Yeah.
This,
All right, moving right along.
We're gonna read that to us.
Word for word.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. This is a amazing document that is literally integrated aquatic vegetation management. This gives a lot of ideas. It has history like no other document that we have because it has the original IAVMP that we had done in the 90s. And then
98.
the updates in like 2007 and the original, the updates, and this is a 2023 update. It's all in here and it has a lot of really good mechanisms to help control. Some of them are, you know, going back to when we put carp in the waterways. Coincidentally, Joy, I don't know, I say her name wrong. It's Machaud, Machaud. Do you know how to say it?
I was drifting.
She was involved in 2007 with the update and she's with Herrera now. She's I think maybe one of the principals at Herrera. So she has a long-standing history with our waterways, which is really awesome.
that's cool.
But if in your free time between now and the next month, if you guys want to go through this and pick out, you know, well, this looks like something we could possibly do. That looks like something we might want to look into, you know, write it down and bring it back to the next meeting.
We go online to get that out.
It's in the agenda packet, but do you want, I have an extra copy. Do you want a paper that way? But yeah, very valuable document to the waterways and it's definitely this group right here. So.
Yes,
I mean, getting the word out to what people can do is that's a great first step, I think, really. I mean,
Mhm.
I know you have other ideas of doing stuff, but people don't, as much as we try to advertise in the city, people don't know that you can clean that stuff up and take it to someplace and drop it off for free. Exactly. So.
Well, I think this is a good tool too, because it tells you like what they've tried in the past that hasn't worked. So there's no reason to repeat, right?
Yeah.
What's not working. And it's a lot of pages, but at least we won't be doing the same thing over.
Yeah, we don't, I think that's one of the problems that's happened. They kept doing the same things over and over.
Yeah.
So nothing is being done.
Yeah.
Herrera has a really good, you know, plan and platform. One of the first things they said to us was every canal is different. Every canal needs to be treated differently. The lake is different. They're all different. I mean, you know, the Finger Lakes, the Bell Canals. I mean, they're just way different than the lake and.
They are.
So I want to stress as a liaison, it's not my role to inject my opinions into the conversation. But the IAVMP that Becky's talking about, I started rereading that this morning when I saw it as an agenda link. And I've been studying the waterways for as long as I have lived here. I moved here in, I think, June of 2016. And I've spent hundreds of hours researching. And everything that I think I know, I read in the first 30 or 40 pages of the 22-23 update. And then about halfway through the 98 original And if you want to get the background to make you eminently qualified to hold this board position, that's the Bible. And I really truly encourage you all to read it. And now I'm going to brag. About 5 or 6 pages down, there's a map of the waterways in there, and it shows the depths. I did that.
Oh, you did?
I did. I took the basic map, and Grant Schaefer and I went out in his boat with a depth sounder and measured the depths there. And I wrote all of those depths in, and I'm proud of that because it's not a navigation age, but it gives you a pretty good idea. Yeah, don't take your deep draft boat here.
Yep.
And you know, if you can, and when you're reading this too, if you can just kind of get past all the Latin terms on what the weeds are, because that's what kind of threw me the last time we discussed this, is those things kept sticking in my head and I didn't understand them. So just get past that. I look them up and then I find out what the American terminology is for that stupid weed, the common name of what that weed is. And this thing it really is amazing. And those damn carp. Whoa.
Yeah.
Don't tell me they were sterile.
Say that again?
Is it true that it's against the law to catch these carp that we don't want?
No, they're catch and release.
Yeah, I think that we need probably somebody from Washington
Hmm.
Fish and Wildlife to come here and talk to us about,
Yep.
is there really any beneficial reason to have them in the water?
Anymore.
They're not eating enough weeds, obviously. No,
Native.
they're not native.
They stopped doing it.
So they do tear up the nesting areas for other fish.
Not on this
you
meeting.
know.
Did you want to say something?
If you don't mind, I can clarify a little bit about the carp. We did request an exemption for Ocean Shores, and Fish and Wildlife had never updated their book saying that we were not allowed to hunt for carp here. But on our bylaws or whatever, it is in there that carp is exempt for fishing. Bow fishing, I mean the arrow. Well, you know.
You can
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Because it's excluded from bow fishing, hunting them with a bow and arrow, but not a line? Or can you not cast?
But they don't usually eat bait, so
You
they were
tried-
doing bow fishing.
You can bow fish?
No, you cannot.
Oh, Fred.
I'll call.
We have a no hunting
Wildlife, because you can't.
rule here in Ocean Shores. So yeah. The Wildlife Department is okay with it. We have a no hunting ordinance.
Can understand that for the.
Bow is hunting,
Right.
you know, I mean, it should be fairly safe if you're in a boat shooting down.
Yeah.
But
Flying your arrows on a cable too. Yeah.
it is, yeah.
Well, maybe we should look into the,
Yeah.
let that be available.
Well, that would take an ordinance change. But,
You know, that's what we should do if we don't want
I think we need to get them out of here, but I'd like to
I
hear
agree.
what the
I agree.
Wildlife Department.
Yeah.
I
You gonna call
don't
them?
have a problem calling, Fish and Game. I'll give them a call and find out what they say about it.
Anything else on the report?
No, that's everything I have.
Next thing is your guys' June meeting. The library has a conflict because these meetings were not on the books previously. They have a meeting that starts at 2:30. Well, it starts at 3, but they set up at 2:30. So we could have the meeting on June 2nd at 1 instead of 2, so just an hour earlier. Or we have to look and pick a different day / time. It's up to you guys.
It works, does it? You work?
I only work on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, okay.
I would say move it up an hour, move it
it.
up.
Move it up an hour.
All right, I just needed you guys to agree with that.
Do you need a motion in a second in order?
So that's June 2nd.
Yep.
I second it. Yeah. So this means all the meetings will be changed to 1 o'clock.
Just this one.
Oh, just this one?
Yeah, just this one. The rest of them are fine. She booked the rest out for 2, but this one just had that one conflict. And then, so now the future meeting date is June 2nd at 1 PM here. So now that is it for the agenda. So we need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Right.
We're adjourned.